Want to learn how to make this easy honey garlic chicken in under 10 minutes? Let me show you how. Welcome to another episode of T-Shirt Cooking. My name is Matthew. Let's not waste any time. This is a fast recipe. Let's get straight to the ingredients. Let's start with 2 chicken breasts, some apple cider vinegar, light soy sauce, some honey, some butter, 4 cloves of garlic, all-purpose flour, salt and pepper, and some neutral oil. I won't be using this, but cornstarch is great if you wish to thicken the glaze we're going to be making. We'll begin by finely chopping the garlic. As clearly demonstrated, I have no idea how to use a knife, so we'll just skip through all this with the magic of fast forwarding. Next up, we remove the 2 chicken breasts from the vacuum sealed bag and rinse them under cold water and pat them dry with a paper towel. We then proceed to remove that one gross nerve on each breast before attempting to horizontally cut each chicken breast into 2 for faster cooking. Remember to wash your hands frequently to avoid being poisoned by a flightless dead bird's breast. We trim whatever else and prepare for the next step as I make you stare at this wet chicken for a full second. Next up, we'll use as much flour as necessary to coat the clean chicken breast and then proceed to mix with a fork. That's clearly not working, so we'll risk salmonella poisoning and use our hand for time efficiency, as the risk could be worth the reward. We then lay the pieces down on a flat baking tray before seasoning with salt and pepper. The coating of the flour will help the glaze stick to the chicken surface. Time to make the simple glaze: 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and 1/3 of a cup of honey. If you're like me and you're using honey from back when Disney movies weren't shoving narratives down your throat, then you'll likely have to give it a good stir to break up the crystallization. Good times. We'll apply some oil to the pan and turn up the heat. It's important for the oil to be hot before adding the chicken to make sure you get that flour surface all nice and crisp. It was at this point that I began to question the size of my pan. Learn from my mistakes. During these few minutes of cooking, I used my rice cooker to steam some broccoli and I reheated some rice. After a few minutes of cooking and flipping, the chicken was ready to be removed. After turning down the heat, we added the garlic and a scoop of butter, followed by the glaze. We let this simmer for a minute or so while stirring frequently. We then added the chicken back into the pan and turned up the heat and let it cook for an additional minute, allowing the glaze to stick. Please note that the glaze will thicken once removed from the pan. So what I did to sort of accessorize the chicken, for lack of a better word, is I put the chicken on a bed of steamed rice with some steamed vegetables, and all the glaze that we made earlier will now leak into the rice and add flavor to the rice as well. First impressions by looking at the plate is there's some good color. I may have not minced the garlic enough, but not a big deal. I'm just gonna brush my teeth after so my breath won't smell that bad. And now let's give this chicken a try. Hopefully I cooked it enough and I won't get poisoned and everything's gonna be all good. That's just me making sure the chicken is cooked while I have a piece in my mouth. This is really good. Goes perfectly with the rice. That was a very good addition. I used regular long grain white rice with just some regular broccoli steamed heads. You can use whatever rice you want. You could even use cauliflower rice. I don't know if that's like a no carb thing or whatever the deal is. I don't know what phase in your temporary diet you're on. For vegan options, instead of using chicken, you could use tofu or some other synthesized simulated meat. And for pescatarians, you could use fish. If you're using fish, you could even add the addition of lemon or any other spices. Really, this whole dish, you could do it how you want. I just gave you the basics. Now let's take a bite of just the rice with the glaze. Yep, that's really good. I would compare it with some other flavors. However, I don't know the terminology for any of this culinary stuff, so I'm just gonna tell you it's really good. It tastes a bit sweet. Likely have to brush my teeth after this. My dentist likely won't approve of the amount of honey that we used. And now let's taste a piece of broccoli with maybe some of the glaze and maybe some of the chicken. So the portions that I chose for this meal, which was 2 chicken breasts, is good for 2 people. So if you and maybe a significant other, you and a friend are getting together, maybe if you're making a date night at your house, this could be a meal that you're doing. It's nothing too fancy, it's quick. You could probably even do it together. I don't know if that's like a thing that you're into. At the end of the day, this is a super easy recipe that even someone like myself who has no clue what's going on in the kitchen had no problems making. So make sure you try it out yourself and let me know how it goes. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm not gonna have you stare at me eat for 20 minutes. So instead, I'm just gonna say, I'll see you next time. Let me just take a sip of water. Yeah, just taking a nice sip of water.